Happy Purim, everybody. This week's Parshas Ki Sisa, which begins off with the mitzvah of Shkolim, which we learned before, but it's in Parshas Ki Sisa. In the mitzvah of Shkolim, of Simcha Sheps, was a Gavaldika Rosh Hashiva and Magid Shir at Torah wrote a splendid sefer called Simchas HaTorah, which I recommend to anybody if you can get a hold of a copy of it. Certainly recommend it. Simchas HaTorah by Simcha Sheps brings on the following tremendously interesting ha'ara. It says by the Parsha of Shkolim, ha'osher lo yarbev, hadal lo yamit, mimachzis ha'shokel, everybody has to give half a shekel. Well, it says, Trumas Hashem lachaper al nafsho seichem. So it says, ha'osher lo yarbev, hadal lo yamit. Everybody has to give exactly the same. So it says here, from the Pasuk, Rav Simcha says, and I'm just freely translating, that there's an isur for the osher to give more than the machzis ha'shekel. And he says that has to be understood. What does it mean? There's an isur to give more. Number one, how would he give different than what Hashem commanded? Number one. Number two, how is it possible that if he does give, that has to be an isur on it? That it's an isur lo yarbe. We know by tzedakah, the more you give, the better off. How come over here there's an isur specifically by machzis shekel? So here, Rav Simcha said the Torah is giving us a tremendous insight into many of the midos that are lurking behind, under the surface, behind our actions, and they're hiding in a person's heart. Even though we know this by nature, people hate to part with their money, especially a rich man is not a big running to give more money, b'derech klal. And it says actually Gemara in Menachos, Simonach Ashir and Makamtsin. Rich people usually are very, very frugal and they are very, very careful with their money. However, there is a difference over here. What's the difference? Everybody has to give machzis ha'shekel. What's going on over here? Every single person has to give exactly the same. An usher cannot stand the fact that he's all of a sudden becoming equal to the ani in his giving. That's a pegia. That's a fleck. It's a stab in the heart on his covet. So therefore, he will want to give more. He will not want to give just what the Torah says. So he shouldn't be the same as an ani. How am I the same as the poor guy over there who's not anywhere near my level? You tell me that we're both the same? And the answer is yes. The Torah is telling you, the Torah is giving you a mitzvah of doing this counting. That is because we all are equal in the eyes of Hashem. In the counting of Klal Yisrael, each and every nefesh of Hashem is the same, and we have to therefore be considered equal and not feel bad that we're more or better than the other person. Now, it's a fascinating question, which Rabbi Kiva Eger asks in this inyan, and that is as follows. Who is giving this mitzvah? This mitzvah is being given by Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is known as the Adam Mikol Anav Mikol Adam. So how is it shaykh that a rich person should think he's better than somebody else when Moshe Rabbeinu is our leader and he was the Adam Mikol Anav? Why can't we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu's anivus? The answer to the kasha is the very end of this week's parasha, and it says, "Vayiten al panav masveh." Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to the people. They got scared of him. He said, "What's going on?" He realized that his face was brilliantly shining, as bright as the sun, if not brighter. So therefore, he put on this very peculiar veil, which we find to be a very unusual, and to us, it's a very, very bizarre sort of behavior. Moshe Rabbeinu is walking around with a veil all the time. How come? How come Moshe Rabbeinu had to wear a veil? Moshe Rabbeinu had to wear a veil, and it says, however, it says, also a very unusual pasuk. It says he put on a masveh, the veil, when he was dealing with the people. When he went to Hashem, he took off the veil. What is the Torah telling you here? What is the Musa Haskell that's going on over here? Moshe Rabbeinu indeed was the Adam Mikol Adam. However, he was the manhig and the melech of Yisrael Kaviyachal. He wasn't a melech coronated, but he was the melech in fact. In fact, a melech has to have a certain level of stature. He has to watch over his covet, and he has to be very, very strict. In fact, when it came to din, and we know that the halacha is melech shemochel al kavodo, ein kavodo mochel. So therefore, he had to show that he was on a higher madrega. Well, how did he do that? He had to show he's on a higher madrega. He put on a masveh. He is really an onav, but he's hiding his anivus with the masveh. And he has to therefore show that he is the covet of the malchus, and that was the masveh, to hide his true essence, which was anivus. Therefore, the usher can make a mistake. However, He goes to speak to Hashem, doesn't have to put on the act, doesn't have to show anything. He knows what he is, he can show what he is. He has to take off the masveh to show his real anivus. It's a wonderful lesson for us all. We should continue to do the right thing. We should have a freilich in Purim. Now you're listening to this after Purim, but that's okay. I hope you had a wonderful Purim, and we should sit into Hashem b'simcha, and we should hear great simchas by all Klal Yisrael, and everybody should be well. Zayis gesund and get Shabbos. Bye.